Good morning. I'm pleased to be standing here with Chuck Hagel, my longtime friend and colleague, and to discuss the amendment that I believe we're going to be able to have a vote on today in the way that it looks. This amendment, I think people are pretty well familiar with the general concept that people who have been deployed should have at least as much time at home as they have spent deployed in Iraq or Afghanistan. We had 56 votes on a similar amendment earlier this year. We've tightened this up. We have, as of this moment, 36 co-sponsors. I'd just like to emphasize a few points on this. First of all, this amendment is well within the Constitution, contrary to what some people have been observing. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution gives the Congress the power to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. It is responsible. We have drafted it with a great deal of care. I've listened to the comments of Secretary Gates. I had a phone conversation with him last week. I put in language as a result of that conversation that would have a 120-day enactment period so that the Department of Defense could adjust to the policies. We also have modified the language by exempting special operations forces because of their unpredictable scheduling deployments. There are waivers in here. If somebody wants to go back, somebody voluntarily wants to go back, they are allowed to under this legislation. The third point I would make is this amendment is needed. Beyond politics, it is needed. It is needed for the well-being of our troops and our family members, and I believe that is a strong reason why the Military Officers Association of America, in a virtually unprecedented move in terms of political involvement, has supported this amendment. 368,000 member organization of all the military services have endorsed this legislation, calling on the Congress to resume its stewardship in terms of the well-being of our military men and women. If you look at this week's Army Times, there's a full article in the Army Times about brigade deployments, talking about the multiple deployments. So there's one unit in the 82nd Airborne that has been deployed for 40 months since December of '01. That's almost 2/3 of the time. We believe that it is needed because this debate is going to continue. The debate about where we go in Iraq. It was rather interesting for me to see last week after the President's address, where people now are openly talking about the possibility that we would be in Iraq for 50 years, using the Korean example. Senator Hagel and I have been discussing this situation for more than 5 years, well before I even decided to run for office. And I wrote an article in the Washington Post 5 years ago this month, basically saying that if we were going into Iraq, if this invasion were to occur, there was not an exit strategy because the people who were planning the invasion did not intend to leave. And I think the language that we've seen over the last week gives some credence to that worry. So as this debate is going on, I think it's very important that we just put a safety net under our troops to tell them, to reassure them that however long they're being deployed, they should be able to have that much time at least at home in order to refurbish, retrain, have time with their families, and mentally get prepared to go. So that's the purpose of the amendment. That's what we're attempting to do, and we're hopefully we will get a number of votes. Senator Hagel.
Tim, thank you.